The difference between 3D artists who get hired and those who don't comes down to this question. Why do mediocre artists with basic skills consistently out-earn incredibly talented artists who create mind-blowing work? Today, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens and, more importantly, what you could do about it. So a little bit of background about myself. I'm Dwayne Elahi. I'm currently a CG supervisor and have worked at companies such as Sony ImageWorks, EA, and Ubisoft. I've been in the industry for about 20 years now, working on projects such as Avatar, Netflix The Witcher, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. And I've also been teaching and mentoring 3D artists for just as long, so about 20 years. I have helped hundreds of students land jobs and break into the industry, with many of them now earning $70K plus at major studios. What's giving me a unique perspective is watching both incredibly talented artists struggle to make ends meet, while artists with mediocre technical skills build six-figure careers. So today, I wanted to share what I've observed about what actually determines success in this industry. Now, that is not to say that you should become a worse artist or that skill doesn't matter at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that beyond a certain baseline of competency, technical skill has very little correlation with income. This video will cover the real factors that determine 3D artists' income beyond pure skill, the specific behavior that less skilled artists use to out-earn talented ones, and why technical perfection doesn't translate to financial success. We're not going to cover technical tutorials or how to improve your modeling skills. This is about the business side that art schools never teach you. Some of this might feel uncomfortable if you're a perfectionist, but I promise if you stick with me, you'll understand why you might be struggling despite your talent. So let's jump right into it. Why worse 3D artists make more money than you? They sell, you just create. Many technically weaker artists are better at marketing themselves and finding clients. They focus on visibility and sales, not just perfecting their art. One of the things I would have to say about this is that 3D artists, pride themselves on the art and they try to sell them, basically their client, the art. Whereas a client is actually looking for an end result and they shop around for people who could actually do that. So if it happens to align that your art falls in line with that, they'll go with you. But it's not necessarily that they're going with you just to promote your art. So you have to understand that, right? You're actually fulfilling a client's needs. Now, another thing is speed over perfection, right? The client is actually looking to move on, finish a project quickly. This is basically a piece in the puzzle that they need to fix in their entire big project. Whereas they want people who are able to finish their project really quickly versus a perfectionist. They'll get stuck refining details that a perfectionist or the artist might care about, but the wider audience or the target audience or the client don't care about it much, right? So clients often value deadlines over flawless details. Another thing is that worse 3D artists understand the business, not just the art. They price based on value, not hours worked, right? They upsell package services and know their target audience. They know what the value of the art brings them. If this piece of art or asset that they're delivering could give them tens of thousands of dollars, that is more valuable than charging by the hour normal rate that an artist would make, right? Networking beats skills. They build relationships with studios, agencies, and influencers. They get referrals and repeat work while better artists remain unknown. So you could be the best artist on the planet, but if nobody knows anything about you, you're not going to get referred. It's hard to distinguish the signal from the noise. But if you're always in front of people and you're always top of mind, as soon as they think of a service, they automatically associate you with that. Even though that artist might not be the best in their field, they're the most recognizable or the one that comes to mind. The other thing is they solve problems, not just deliver assets. They focus on client goals, marketing impact, storytelling, conventions, conversions as well in terms of marketing and selling, not just the 3D model. How does it play into the whole business side of things and what the client's trying to accomplish? Basically, businesses pay more for solutions that they basically look good, but it's more than just a pretty render as it is for an artist, right? It's what does that actually impact at the final output of the project and how does it fit in the whole project as a whole. They diversify income, licensing their work, selling assets, teaching courses, having a Patreon, for example. They also have multiple revenue streams. They protect them from slow months, so one thing that's very famous or famously known in the industry for artists is that it's feast or famine. When you're needed, everybody wants you, or you charge a little more because they want something right away and they don't have someone, so they might, and you're the person who's available, so they'll pay top dollar and want you right away, right? Whereas if it's famine season where there's no projects going on, you could be the greatest modeler, animator, 3D artist, whatever is your discipline, but if nobody has a project, you're not going to get hired, right? So another thing as well is that a lot of these artists, they have a recognizable style or brand. So even if they're not technically the best, their style is memorable and marketable. So a lot of times you see something that's very simple and they do it over and over, but people like that style. So brand consistency makes them easier to hire again, because you at least know what you're getting each time. Even if it's not necessarily the best, but at least you know what it is, right? They use tools and shortcuts, right? So they do stock assets, kit bashing, right? Procedural workflows to speed up production. Efficiency means more projects and more income, right? So in comparison, an artist might want to do something new every single time. So that might take them hours, days, months to do something. And as an artist, you feel you have a new challenge and it's great. However, when you have a deadline, you want a quick turnaround. The client wants a quick turnaround, or the quicker you have, you could generate, you could make more of, which means you could charge more clients, get more projects under your belt, or even work with larger projects because you have tools and workflows and kits already made that you can just drag and drop. Is it as refined, or is it as custom as possible? Maybe not, but the client might not care. In a lot of cases, they don't, right? So you have to factor that in on your deliverable, as well as what the client's needs are, and even your time and the value you're bringing to it, right? The more time you spend on this project is an opportunity cost that you're not spending somewhere else, right? So if you could finish 3 projects in a day as opposed to 1 in 3 weeks, and it's the same amount of pay that or even the same amount of pay, or even the value you give it to it, it depends, right? You have to look at it on the business side if you're start dealing with clients, not just an artistic. If you're just doing your own art, that's different. You could express yourself, it's fine. But if you're delivering to a client, you have to consider all these factors, right? Another thing is, these artists, they focus on niches. Instead of competing with every 3D artist, they dominate one profitable niche often work and command higher rates, right? I mean, it could be pronounced niche or niche depending where you're coming from, how you want to pronounce the word. But the thing is about having a niche is that you are known that for that project. You are known for, if I need a person to do product visualization, I'll do that, or a certain type of product visualization. You'll be sent work for that, right? Or architectural design, or logos, or maybe you do a certain type of 3D character or stylized character, or you're known for doing realistic characters, portrait characters, and certain poses or certain lighting. So being known for one thing automatically is kind of like your branding, and being consistent with it makes people automatically associate you when it comes time to get work done for that certain project. And the other major thing that these lesser artists, or lesser skilled, quote unquote, or worse 3D artists do that a lot of the higher end artists don't, is that they actually ask for the money. They aren't afraid to quote high and negotiate. They know some clients will say no, but the yeses pay much more, right? So a closed mouth doesn't get fed, right? So ask, especially if you understand the value you're bringing to the project and the impact it has. That is how you can present yourself or pitch it, as opposed to just charging by the hour and they penny pinch you or shop around. Here's the truth. Those free YouTube tutorials and $50 Udemy courses you've been grinding through, they're designed for hobbyists, not people serious about breaking into studios like Pixar, Marvel, or Blizzard. You're not failing because you lack talent. You're stuck because you're using a hobbyist roadmap to chase a professional dream, which is why I've created Pro Anywhere, my comprehensive course that teaches you not just the technical skills, but the business strategies that actually get you hired and well paid in this industry. This isn't another course teaching you how to model a donut. This is the exact Exciter roadmap I use to take people from tutorial hell to studio paychecks in 6 to 12 months. Here's what makes the difference. I don't just teach you the technical skills, I give you the industry-ready portfolio templates, the networking scripts that actually work, and the insider knowledge about what studios are looking for that you'll never learn in tutorials. Plus, you get direct access to my network of hiring managers and studio leads who are actively looking for new talent. I'm only accepting 15 people into the next cohort because I personally review every portfolio and provide one-on-one guidance. If you're tired of spinning your wheels on outdated tutorials while watching your savings disappear, and you're ready to fast-track your way into the industry with a proven system, so to recap what we've covered today, we've identified that financial success in the 3D art industry is not determined solely by technical proficiency, but rather by a combination of strategic marketing, efficient workflow practices, business acumen, and the ability to position oneself in profitable niches. We explored how artists who prioritize visibility, speed of delivery, and client-focused solutions often outperform technically superior peers in revenue generation. Additionally, we discussed the importance of cultivating professional networks, diversifying income streams, developing a recognizable personal brand, leveraging production shortcuts, and confidently negotiating rates, all of which contribute to a sustainable and scalable career in 3D art. Your next step is to take an honest look at how you're currently approaching your 3D art career, not just in terms of skill, but in how you market, package, and sell your work. Identify one or two of the strategies we discussed today, such as focusing on profitable niche, building a recognizable brand, or speeding up your workflow with smarter tools, and start applying them immediately. The goal isn't to become the best artist overnight, but to position yourself where clients see the most value in hiring you, so your income can grow alongside your skills. Here's one bonus tip. Document and share your process publicly, whether it's quick behind-the-scenes clips, progress screenshots, or short tutorials. Showing your work in progress not only builds trust, but also keeps you visible to potential clients. People hire artists they feel connected to, and consistent, authentic sharing can generate leads and opportunities even while you're working on other projects. The biggest mistake to avoid is thinking that being the most technically skilled artist automatically guarantees the highest income. If you focus only on perfecting your craft without learning how to market yourself, build relationships, and package your work in a way that solves client problems, you'll stay invisible to the people willing to pay top dollar. Skill matters, but visibility and value perception matter more.